Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, everyone, for coming on a Saturday and being here. It's an honor to be here with so many Americans who worry about their country and are concerned about their future. It's an honor to be with you, Shelley, and with the people who really care about this country, like Steve and Frank Gaffney and others who helped me organize this. It's a sign, really, that our country is in trouble, that on a Saturday, hardworking people have to come together and talk about the threat to the country that China presents. At various times in our history, there has been something called the Committee on the Present Danger, which Steve mentioned. Does that help? This Committee on the Present Danger was started in the 1950s to help explain President Truman's national security policy. And in the 70s, it was brought together a group of national security intellectuals, public policy scholars, and concerned patriots to try to understand what the Soviet threat was and to explain to the American people what would need to be done if we were going to meet the Soviet threat. Ronald Reagan was a member of the Committee on the Present Danger, and he and 39 of his colleagues from the committee went into the Reagan administration and together made policy, rebuilt the American military, and brought down the Soviet Union. That was a great achievement. As we look out today on what this government's doing, thank God President Trump was elected with the fine work of Steve Bannon and Shelley and others. But President Reagan is all alone in trying to understand what the threat from communist China is to America. Today, the Chinese Communist Party is able to control 1.4 billion people and to use it to wage economic and information war against the United States. They steal our intellectual property, they have forced technology transfers, and they are doing everything in their power to make sure they are the preeminent power on earth. We think on the Committee on the Present Danger China that this is not adequately understood by our countrymen. That American policymakers get large donations from business people who do business in China. And so American business and political elites get corrupted by their interaction with the Chinese. And that's unfortunate, because over the last 3 decades, we've made communist China very rich, and we've done it at the expense of the American people. The purpose of this committee is really to explain to our countrymen those existential threats that the communist Chinese present, and to change the policies to help Donald Trump, to help the Congress understand what will be required to make sure that America remains the preeminent economic and military power on earth. Because if one thing is for certain, it is that the United States remains the defender of individual liberty and human freedom on earth. We have a good friend in India. India is a democracy that is prosperous and becoming ever more so. It is intolerable, to be clear, from the point of view of the communist Chinese, that remains so. They have no strategic interest in either India being free or prosperous. And so that the interests of the United States and the interests of India are very much the same. And that is to make sure that the free world is defended, that we are capable of deterring the communist Chinese from believing that they can somehow harm the United States or India. And it's our purpose here today in this meeting to try to explain to you what we have been studying, to get your help, because we need you adding your voices to ours to make sure that our countrymen understand the gravity of the situation.